Hey gals, today we start week 2 in our studies of 1 Timothy, and so far I have been so impressed with your hearts, your stories of what you're reading and how God is impressing and changing you in just the first chapter of 1 Timothy alone. But then also especially how you are sharing what you're reading with other women. And that really has been my goal for you all along. That you would become not just a reader of God's word and not just a heeder of God's word, someone who heeds God's word and lets God's word transform them, but that you would also become a leader in God's word, that you would lead other women into the knowledge of the truth. So keep it up. You're doing a phenomenal job. Now, some of you, I don't know that well yet. I don't know if you grew up in a Christian home or if you didn't. I grew up in, a pretty conservative Christian home. But even if you grew up in one or you didn't, depending on your background or even your experiences with church, your understanding or your definition of what godliness is and what godliness looks like might vary. So growing up, my mom really didn't let us watch a lot of TV. We didn't have cable. We just had, like one little TV with some bunny ears on it. But one show that I always wanted to watch and I tried to sneak and watch was Saturday Night Live. I loved that show. I thought it was so funny. But my favorite sketch was of the church lady. Do you know who I'm talking about? The church lady. And now it's time for church chat. And the tape would roll, and there the church lady would come out and she would stand in front of this giant stained glass window. I mean, it was just a giant whopping stereotype about what women in the church look like and what they acted like. Here's a picture of her if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I loved watching this. And I think because I thought it so closely mirrored reality. Because we all know some church ladies, right? They're just mean, right? They're just obsessed with rules and whether you're following the rules. This particular church lady in the Saturday Night Live sketch was mean too. She gossiped about people under the guise of prayer requests, things that we don't know anything about. But she complained about other people. She was obsessed with what other people were doing wrong, blaming it all on Satan, of course. But I think regardless of where we grew up, we all know a church lady. We're all familiar with this stereotype. And Paul is going to tell us in 1 Timothy 2 that if we're not careful, we can become church ladies. He's going to lay out for us what the true picture of godliness looks like. And we, of course, are going to encounter some real-life church ladies in our reading. So this is my assignment for you this week. If you're taking the fast track, I want you to read chapter 2 in 1 Timothy, and then come back and I want you to watch and participate in the live video on Thursday, the teaching session that starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you're my slow and steady gals and you're going to dig deeper into the Word, what I want you to do is the same. Read chapter 2 and then follow the study prompts or, use the sheets that I post beginning tomorrow, and then come back on Thursday and participate in the live session. Listen, Thursday's teaching is going to be so rich because there is so much packed in to this itty bitty little chapter. But whether you're doing the fast track or slow and steady, I want you to think of this question as you read. What is godliness and why does it matter? What is godliness and why does it really matter for me? Paul has a lot that he is going to tell us about what godliness is and why it matters. And look out for the church ladies along the way. Oh, and on Thursdays, a little birdie told me that for those ladies that participate in the live video, there might be a little giveaway. So come back and I'll see you then.